This segment is presented by Audio Help Hearing Centers, helping patients hear better for 30-plus years.
Today, a topic that can be touchy for some, hearing loss. According to the National Institute on Aging, approximately 1 in 3 people between the ages of 65 and 74 suffer from hearing loss.
That is very true. And joining us now is audiologist Dr. Ariella Naim from Audio Help Hearing Centers. She's going to help us to help identify if our loved ones are having a tough time hearing, and then even more delicate, how to broach this tough subject
With our friends.
Great to see you again, Doctor.
Happy to be here again.
So
Thank
good to
you.
see you. So most of us have interaction with someone that has hearing loss. I'm speaking from personal experience. I've spoken to you about this, my 86-year-old mother. What is the first sign that they're having trouble? Because I'm 48 and sometimes I can't hear.
So the most common complaint I get from significant others of patients is that they're listening to the TV too loud.
Yes.
That's the
Oh
telltale.
my gosh,
Yes.
this is my father.
Biggest sign, asking people to repeat themselves, constantly saying what, pulling back from social situations, all big signs of hearing loss.
Pulling back from social situations.
Pulling back from this is literally my father to a T. He's 75, 76 now, but I feel like it did start about a decade ago, and that was all the things. Turn it up,
Yep.
Yeah.
louder. I'm like, Dad, it's at 100.
Right.
It doesn't go louder.
Yeah.
So, okay, you say that they pull back from social situations. Is it because, why is that?
It's typically because they're embarrassed to have to ask someone to constantly repeat themselves.
Oh, gosh.
Right.
Well, that's no way to live.
What we don't realize is this pulling back from discussions, family events, even talking to your grandchildren has a negative effect not only on our brain health, but could also lead to anxiety and depression.
Yeah. It's also, I think, what I learned with my own mom is, in the beginning it was frustrating for me and my sister. We'd be like, oh my gosh. But then in the last year, I realized it became frustrating for my mom.
Absolutely.
Because she realized, like, oh my gosh, I've been navigating the earth, being like the life of the party or whatever, or being to engage in conversations, and she was being quiet.
I think there's like a sense of denial in there too at first.
So talk to us about that, because it was almost like she was the last to know.
Absolutely. So not only is it frustrating, as you mentioned, for the speaker, but it's also frustrating for this person who's listening. Because if you think about it, we have to constantly be tuned in and focused to make sure we're not missing what's being said. And people with hearing loss actually, by the end of the day, notice that they're exhausted because we're so tuned in and so focused.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So what is the best way to broach the subject with a loved one?
Great question. So I think the importance is really just focusing and tuning in on the brain health, the importance of stimulating our brains. Our brains are plastic, and if there's a lack of stimulation, it can change.
Right.
And the same way we exercise our bodies, we need to exercise our brain. Constantly being socializing with people, not pulling back from situations. Again, all about brain health. And we talk about the importance or the connection of hearing loss and dementia. I can't stop someone from getting dementia,
Right.
but I could definitely slow the progression.
Right.
And the most important thing to realize is that hearing loss, untreated hearing loss, can increase the risk of dementia by 8%. And that only increases as the severity of hearing loss increases.
Wow. So sort of flip the script and say, okay, it's not necessarily that you just can't hear me.
Well,
but
you're annoying me, but yeah.
We want to keep your brain, or
want you
Miriam,
to be
you're
around
annoying me.
for a long time.
We want to keep your brain firing on all cylinders.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
And to do it with love and not a la
Right.
my mother. You're
JL,
You're
stop
deaf.
screaming.
Okay, that's
So what is the
don't be
best
hostile.
remedy for hearing loss?
Best remedy is definitely through the use of appropriately fit hearing aids.
Yes.
You know, we've come a long way with technology, and not only does it make it easier for us to hear what's going on in our environment, get you a cleaner signal, but they're essentially invisible now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, while there is still a stigma associated with hearing aids and hearing loss, you can't really see them.
Right.
But, you know, another tip of how to even talk about the subject is suggest getting a hearing test together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my gosh,
It's a
I never
15-minute
thought about that.
Yeah,
a little
super
date.
non-invasive, easy test, takes you back to grade school
Right.
where you're like,
Raise
raise
your
your hand when you hear the beep.
God.
And since you're doing it together, you know, your loved one won't feel singled out.
Right. These are fantastic tips, really, truly.
Once again, I will need to be making my appointment with a good
Get
doctor
her
right here.
card
I will.
whenever
This
you're
time
ready.
I actually will.
Dr. Naim, it's always great to see you.
Great seeing you
You're
guys
Thank you
again.
so much.
Thank
wealth
you.
of information.
Really.
If you would like to set up a hearing test, it's as easy as scanning that QR code or call the number on your screen, or simply head to audiohelphearingcenters.com.